Hi everyone, I hope that you're doing great. I'm Behrang and welcome to today's lesson on October Skills Intermediate Level Lesson 11, where we'll be looking at some of the vocabularies related to the topic of family. As you know, family is one of the important and universal parts of our life, so having a good understanding of these vocabularies is essential. In this lesson, we'll be exploring words and phrases related to the topic. So by the end of this lesson, you have a good foundation of these vocabularies and you can speak confidently about this topic. Let's go. Alright, so let's get down to business. Part a family history. So there's a short description related to Marilyn Monroe, one of the greatest actress of all time, and there's a picture of her as well. After that, we have the glossary part. First, I'm gonna go through the words that we have in the glossary to practice pronunciation first, and then we will go back to the description that we have. So the first one is nickname. Second one is only child, single parent, childhood, foster parent, adopt a child. Be careful, this is not adapt, this is adopt. They're different, I'm gonna tell you later. Next one is married or married. Both of them are correct. Let's take a look at Longman Dictionary. Here we have it. So I'm gonna search the word here and we're gonna check it together. So as you can see, the UK is
married,
married, and the US is married.
married,
All right. So that's it. Let's go back. Next word is complicated. It is not exactly, you have to say complicated. Divorced, according to somebody or something. Source, and romantic. So these are the correct pronunciation of each word. Now let's go back to the text. It says that Marilyn Monroe, also known by the nicknames MM or the blonde bombshell. So these are the nicknames. What is the meaning of nickname? An informal name, not your real name. So maybe each of us have got a nickname which may be connected with your personality or appearance. It might happen for some of us that we get a nickname by others. Maybe sometimes it's positive, sometimes it might be a negative one. So we have a nickname here for Marilyn Monroe, double M or MM, as it stands for the first letter of the family name and the first name, and the blonde bombshell. So be careful, bombshell is not correct, so you have to say bombshell. Was an only child from a single parent family. So what is the meaning of only child? That's also crystal clear. A child with no brothers and sisters, so it's called an only child. So like I'm an only child, I don't have any brothers or sisters. From a single parent family, it means that a mother or father who looks after his or her children alone. A single parent family. So it means that one of them is dead or is gone. I don't know what happens there, or maybe divorced. Just a mother or a father looks after the children. All right. So we're gonna continue the text. It says that she had an unhappy childhood and spent much of it with foster parents. All right. So here we can see childhood by the meaning of the time when you are a child. So the era that you were a child, we call it a childhood. That's a period of time, of course. So you can say, in my childhood, I played a lot. So you can also use in before childhood. So what is the meaning of foster parents? We can see here in the glossary, it's somebody who takes care of another person's child in their home for a period of time. So this means that, okay, when a person is a foster parent, is taking care of another person's child in their home for a period of time, not fully. Okay, so we got the foster parents. One couple wanted to adopt her. So here, adopt means to take somebody's child into your family and legally make them your child. So this is kind of different from the foster parent. So yeah, there was a couple who wanted to adopt her, but it wasn't possible. And at the age of 16, she got married. As you know, the meaning of married is having a husband or wife. And we say to get married to somebody, it's synonyms to marry somebody is also correct. So the verb get collocates with a lot of past participle verbs and adjectives. So be careful. A lot of times, for example, we say nobody got hurt, I got stopped, got damaged. These are the most usable past participles of it, get or got. So if you're using get, it's a kind of present simple passive form, and if you're using got plus past participle, is a past simple passive form. Be careful. So again here we got a passive sentence. She got married is a passive sentence. So let's continue. It says, in fact, in her short life, she died at 36. 36. She had a complicated love life. So what is the meaning of complicated? It means difficult to understand because it has a lot of different parts. So sometimes when you're, I don't know, signing up in a website or enrolling somewhere, the options are like this. They say that, okay, are you married or single? Or are you divorced, for example? Or it's complicated. There's an option like this. So, yeah, complicated means, yeah, it's difficult to understand. It's difficult to explain, maybe. So let's continue. She married 3 times and got divorced 3 times. Yeah, that's tough, of course. So when we say divorced, we mean no longer married. To get divorced, synonym of divorce is a verb, also a noun. So be careful. Divorce is a verb and a noun. These words that are noun and at the same time they're verbs are very important because sometimes we misuse them and we forget that, okay, this word has a noun part of a speech as well, or vice versa. So this is not good. Let's continue. According to Hollywood sources, she also had many romantic relationships with people such as Marlon Brando and Frank Sinatra. Okay, so according to somebody or something means as somebody or something says. According to me is not correct, of course. We don't have such thing. So what is the meaning of source or sources? Somebody or something that provides information, often for a piece of work or the news. Yeah, all the time. No news has a source or sources. So it can be I don't know, a piece of paper, a newspaper, or it can be a person. No difference. And romantic means about love, full of feelings of love, as you already know the meaning. Be careful with the spelling of each word, they might be somehow tricky. So the first exercise says that cover the text above, true or false. Write T or F if the sentences are false, correct them. So the first one is true. Marilyn Monroe's nickname was Double M or MM. Her mother nickname was the Blonde Baby. I haven't seen that, so it's false. You have to correct it. Exercise 2, match the words from the boxes. Alright, so here you're gonna make some kind of, I can say, phrases like foster parents, maybe to adopt a child, I don't know. So you have to go on and to match the words together. These words are collocations, they collocate with each other, so be careful about using them correctly in the context. So number 3 says that complete the text. It says my mother is a single parent. All right. She had me a year after she got married, but got and 2 years later. It's crystal clear for number 1, and didn't have any more children. So I'm an blah blah child, but I have a blah blah and blah blah. I had a happy blah blah and blah blah to my aunt. Okay, So that's about part A. Let's move on to part B. Welcome back, everyone. Part B, coincidence. So, again, first of all, I'm gonna go through the vocabularies that we have in the glossary part in order to check the pronunciation with you. So, please repeat after me. Twin, twin, identical, identical, coincidence, coincidence, brother in law, brother in law, sibling, sibling, previous, previous, generation, generation, originally, originally, be related to somebody, be related to somebody. All right, so now I'm gonna go through the speech bubbles that we have here on the left side of the book, and I'm gonna start reading and check the meaning of the vocabularies with you. So it says that I'm a twin with an identical twin sister. So what is the meaning of twin? Is one of two people who have the same mother and were born at the same time. With an identical twin sister, identical means to be exactly the same. So twins are identical because they are uh, somehow the same. They're exactly the same. They're very similar to each other. So this is the meaning of twin and identical. Let's continue. My twin sister is married, and last year she gave birth to identical twin boys. So here we have to give birth to somebody. Take a look at the spotlight here. I've just highlighted it in red. It says when a woman gives birth, she has a baby. And the day that the baby is born is their date of birth, like 7th of May 1998. Okay, so as you know, we just read the date in English from the left. Okay, every year on the day of their birth, people celebrate their birthday. So okay, here we have to give birth. It means that when the baby is born, we say that okay, she gave birth to the baby, and that day is the date of the birth of the baby that you can see here. And every year they celebrate the birthday of that baby that is on that special day. So let's continue. It says that is that just a coincidence? Okay, she is asking, or he is asking this question: what is the meaning of coincidence? When two things happen in the same way or at the same time, both of them surprising. So coincidence, as the book says, two thing, two I can say two incident happen at the same time. Both of them are somehow maybe shocking, maybe surprising. You're surprised that here they are twins, and her sister actually gave birth to another twin as well. All right, so this is called the coincidence. Let's continue. My sister's husband, my brother-in-law, actually. So when you have two commas here in English punctuation, it means that the person is giving some extra information. So my sister's husband, in another word, means my brother-in-law. So take a look at here, the glossary part. It has got two meaning. First, the husband of my sister. Two, the brother of your husband or wife. So be careful. We have two meanings for brother-in-law. Also, sister, mother, daughter-in-law, or etc. Okay, let's move on. It says that their husbands are. I'm sorry. Yeah, my brother-in-law has two siblings. Yeah, we have siblings who are sisters. What is the meaning of sibling? That is formal. A brother or sister is called sibling. So let's continue here. It says that their husbands are from London, but previous generations of their families originally came from the same city in Poland. Another coincidence? Okay. So, what is here? It says that their husbands are from London, but previous generations. What is the meaning of previous? Means coming or happening before or earlier. Mm-hmm. So it was, for example, I don't know, 10 years ago, 100 years ago. So it means the previous. We have previous, we have next. Next is for future, previous is for past. So what is the meaning of generation? Means all the people in the family born at about the same time. Okay, so it means that, so in each time, we have a generation. So when we are talking about, for example, this decade, or for example these past 3 decades or 4 decades, we are talking about people who were born in our family in these 3 or 4 decades. So we call all of them a generation. We are a generation somehow. Okay, so mostly it's not about 4 decades. 4 decades is a little bit, long. So I can say 1 or 2 decades would be much more logical. All right, so let's continue. What is the meaning of originally? Means in the beginning, before another things happened. Okay, that's in the beginning. At first, it means originally. It comes from original. Originally, I came from the same city in Poland. Okay, so this might be another coincidence that uh, you know both were from London, but their previous generations were originally from Poland, both of them. Okay, and the last speech bubble says, I also have a younger brother. His girlfriend is related to family who lived in the same house as my parents. So what is the meaning of related to somebody? It means being the same family as somebody. Relative is an adjective, so relation is a noun. Actually, here relative is considered to be a noun as well, here in this lesson. Alright, so it is that um, his girlfriend is related to a family who lived in the same house as my parents 10 years before they did. Is that or is this just another coincidence? Okay, so this was another surprising incident that happened. That his girlfriend is related to a family who lived in the same house as my parents. Okay, that's kind of weird. All right, thank you for listening and watching this part. Let's move on to the exercises. Yes or no? Is your mother-in-law your mother? Of course not. So you're gonna say yes or no for number 1 to 8. Complete the sentences. The first one, example, I have 2 sisters who are identical twins. Okay, so you have to complete the other six with the correct word. The next part is complete the words in these questions. Again, so you have a question and you have to complete it, like, have you got a brother or sister-in-law? And you have to answer this part in a full sentence. It says write your answers to exercise 6 as I told you, or ask another student. It says, have you got a brother or sister-in-law? Yes, I've got a sister-in-law called Kathleen or Caitlin, and my brother married her 2 years ago. Okay, so do this part, and if you have any question, just let me know. Thank you. Thank you for watching until the end of this video. I hope that this lesson helps you to improve your knowledge of vocabulary. I would be thankful if you subscribe my channel and like this video. Thank you. Stay safe. Bye-bye.